Welcome back. Just before the break, we showed you the new plant in Nevada that's using leftover materials from harvest season to create ethanol. Now Steffi Lee talks with former Lieutenant Governor Patty Judge about why this kind of technology is so important.
With the opening of this plant, what do you expect for Iowa's political future, especially with 2016 just around the corner?
Well, of course, we believe that this is a peek at the future, and Iowa has been on the cutting edge of renewable energy from the first day, and so we know that this is going to be an important part of the election. We're going to be looking at what candidates have to say about renewable energy, and we're excited.
What do you hope the candidates do say, especially with Iowa as such a battleground state? What do you hope that the candidates kind of push forward, and what do you hope their message is?
Well, of course, we hope that they will commit to renewable energy, that they will commit to continuing the renewable fuel standard. We heard a lot about that today. The standard gives us an access to the market that without it we're not going to be able to move our products out of Iowa. So it's very important that that is continued, and we want to make certain that candidates coming into Iowa understand that. They don't necessarily come to us understanding renewable energy, renewable fuels, and the role that the renewable fuel standard plays in that, making things like the opening of this plant absolutely possible. So it's part of our job, all Iowans, to educate those candidates and make certain that they understand that importance and that they're with us on that.
Kind of talk to me about, any misconceptions people have out there in terms of this political season, in terms of ethanol, in terms of just renewable fuels in general?
Well, there is still a perception, and a lot of the candidates come into Iowa saying that they don't support mandates, that they don't, that they think this is not a place for government to be involved. And, I think we have to be certain that they understand that, first of all, the oil industry has enjoyed subsidies from the United States government for over 100 years. Ethanol is a very new player, and this is not a subsidy. This does not involve the government giving the ethanol industry money. This simply says that there is a certain amount of the fuel that is sold in America is going to be from renewable sources. That gives us access. It lets us market our product, and believe me, if we did not have that, the oil industry is not going to voluntarily give up that share.
What about some people saying that ethanol isn't as important as it was before? I mean, everyone here today was definitely praising the opening of the cellulosic ethanol plant.
Well, ethanol is very important. As you heard the speakers today talk about the beginnings, when there was no ethanol plants until the point that we are today, when we're opening the first and largest commercial cellulosic ethanol plant in the world. We have come light years, absolutely light years. And it is important that we continue that. We talk about this as an Iowa issue because it's involving Iowa jobs, it's involving Iowa's research and development and the future for our state. But really this is a national issue, and it's a national crisis. We have to be serious about the fact that we have got to lessen the dependence on foreign oil. We have got to be looking for alternative sources of energy to power our country, and that this is going to be a big piece of that. So I don't buy for a minute that this is not as important as it has been other years. It is probably becomes more and more critically important with each election.
Coming up next, we go back 3 years to retrace the Affordable Care Act from the first open enrollment period to year 3 of that landmark legislation.